Let's take a look at the roofline and floorline commands in AutoCAD architecture. Now, if you have our products, you will find that under the general tools, which comes with any purchase of these products, under general tools, under walls, under wall tools, a page or two over here, there we go. I've added those personally just as a reminder if you forget you have those tool options. They're not readily available on any menus, so it's pretty easy to forget that they're available. So there's floor line and then there's roof line. If you draw a wall, most likely the place to access those two commands is select the wall, right click, and then you will see right here that you have modify roof line or modify floor line. They can also be typed in as roof line and floor line, which I'll do in this demonstration. What I'll do here is I'm going to go to our example farmhouse project, and I'll go ahead and rotate this up into 3D. Okay, and then if I do conceptual shade on that, you'll see I have two walls that need some work. So in a case like this, I've got my first floor construct over here in the project navigator, but I keep all of the roof information in a separate construct, which I can now go ahead and bring in. So I'll go ahead and drag this roof information in. And so ideally, I would want that wall and this wall to read that roof. It would be great if it did it automatically, but it doesn't. So for this one here, this one will be quite simple. This is the gable end, and you can see if I zoom down here, there is not much to worry about for interference. So I could just type in roof line, and then I can do an A for auto project. I select this wall, enter, and then I'll go ahead and select the select the objects here. Now notice, since it is a construct, and when you select a construct, it's the whole thing. It's going to read everything. So whatever's in that file, this wall is now going to read. And if it interferes with this area, it might create an obstruction in the result. So let's take a look here and see what happens. Okay, so that went clean, nice and clean. The wall went right up to the roof itself. We'll do it on this one over here. And on mine, I made a little shortcut, RL. That's how I access it. I use it so much, I made an RL and an FL. So I'll go ahead and select the wall, and then I'll go ahead and select the roof, enter, and this is what happens. So this might occur for you using either roof line or floor line. And so what's happening is in that file, in this roof construct, there's something obstructing the path of a wall to reach that roof. So if I go ahead and open that up, let's see here, roof. We'll probably see it right away. And let's see, I'm going to unload this file here, just so I have the file clean. And if I look at it now in 3D, yeah, that's what it is right there. It's a piece of the ceiling that's interfering with the roof line. Now, you could go ahead and select that, right-click. You could isolate object and hide. And then you could save the file, bring it in, reload it, and then use it, then come back and undo all that sort of stuff. That's a lot of work, but know that you can do that. You can use the this isolate tool to remove things in the file when it's reading a roof line, floor line. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to close this up. I'm not going to save any changes. I didn't make any changes. I'm going to show you the whole reason I'm doing this video. There's a neat little trick to work around this problem. And what it is that you want to tell it to just read the roof. Don't read anything else. So how can we do that? What we can do, as long as that construct or that XREF is not loaded, I can do a right click on it and I can edit in place. All right. So now it is available in this file, allowing me to pick just the roof. This now means that I can do my roof line command. I can do the auto project, select the wall, and now only get the roof. And so it just reads that and nothing else. That's exactly the kind of thing that you want. Once you're done, go up here and do a discard changes. Keep in mind, you're not discarding the work you just did. You're discarding any changes to that construct or XREF. So I don't want that to go back to the original file. Anything I might have done, all I wanted to do was use this technique to access the selection of that one roof. So I'm going to discard and OK. And that's it. That's how I achieve that. Let's take a look at some other thing here, which is the floor line. So if I go down to, let's see here, foundation, and I already have laid out the foundation. Let's do that over again. In our walls tool palette, so if I go to the content browser here, okay, and I go to the home, if I go to the general tools, you'll see under walls we have new walls and we have existing walls. So under the new walls, there's more wall types. And if you go far enough, you'll get to some common foundation type walls, which this is just a very simple generic spread footing. So I go ahead and insert that into the file and come across like this. Now I'm going to do a stepped version of that. So I'll copy that from here to a midpoint here, and then I probably would want to bring this out, let's say 24 inches. So there's some overlap. Now it's giving me that error because walls weren't designed to interact this way. And there's a variety of ways that you can clean that up. I'm going to just do the simplest thing is I'm going to take that one wall here and I'm going to go over all my properties and I'm going to tell it not to clean up, and then that problem's gone. But for a different day, we might want to talk about the way that you can make something like this clean up better. It needs a little more concrete in here, and then you probably want to take out the overlap. But this exercise or this example is really just about using floor line, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to go ahead and save it. And I'm going to come back now over to the first floor construct. I'm going to load the foundation, reload. And here it is. Here's my stepped foundation. And I might as well take this wall over here and bring it out for demonstration purposes. And that gives me a chance to show you, that wall now has that stuff, that projection fixed into it. Even if I select that wall and say add selected, you're going to see that it tries to maintain the projection in there because that information is now part of that wall and it's stored down here. On your properties palette and your worksheets, you'll see that the roof line and the floor line are now basically tracked in this, this window. So you go in, you can make modifications, you edit vertex and so forth. What you really need to know, I think, right now is how to get rid of something like that. So there's a very simple way to do that. If you know what it is, if it's floor line, you just type in floor line, you can do an R for reset, and then click on the wall, hit enter, and let's see, do an R, reset, hit the wall, enter, and enter. It should have reset here. Why is it not resetting? Let's see. Oh, did I type in? I typed in the wrong one. Roof line. Duh. Reset. And there we go. All right. Because I'm thinking ahead for floor line. Now, this is one of our customized walls. It has a sill on it, and it has plywood, and it has the outside material. So what we want to do here is we want to take the outside edge of that sill and lay it on top of the stem wall, and then just drag this out maybe to here, and then I'll go ahead and just take this and bring it back to here. Right, just to make a little clean example here. And let's go back to conceptual. All right, so then this is the scenario that we're in. And we can fix that if we're in a hurry and we need to solve this problem. You can just do a floor line, and you can do the A for auto project. You go ahead and select your wall, enter, then you select the foundation, and it brings that wall down. All right, now, this works pretty well as long as these things are lined up properly. As long as the baseline of the wall is in the same plane, basically reference plane of the other object. Same with the roof. These should work. It should project to that object. But now that I've done this little example, let me just do a door add as a generic door here, and go ahead and just pop it in right here. Just be aware that the solution that I've just presented may not be the optimum way of dealing with this type of layout in a project, because the door now thinks that it's sitting at 0 with a head height of 7 feet, right? But if you are thinking that my floor is actually down here, technically speaking, that door should be a foot above. It should show that it's a foot above. So what I typically do when this is you know, especially a new build where I'm really tracking everything, I will break this up. I will have a wall that breaks at this point, and I will have it started down here. Or if the floor line continues on, then on my foundation plan, I will just have a small portion of wall, which I would call a pony wall, with the exterior surface material on. And the point of all that is that I want my walls relatively clean and simple because of the way that they were designed. So the base of my walls, I try to not mess with too much unless I really have a good reason. I think this pretty much covers what I was trying to convey in this little demonstration, so I'm out.